Hi, I'm trying to make a little video tutorial on how to create a slideshow for Sunday morning service. Right now we're in version 18.1. Please always be careful when we update to new versions. We usually don't apply new updates right away. We wait a few weeks before we do that just to see if there are any issues or bugs, which often happens. Usually we post on Signal when we upgrade to another version, so you can also upgrade at home to the latest version then. So now more about the three screens on the right side. On the top you see the main presentation screen that everybody sees in church. In the middle you have the so-called stage screen, which is the screen you see from the stage when you look backwards. And at the very bottom you have the screen with all the information that is sent to the live stream, so usually the lyrics. You can always switch also to any of these three screens by clicking here at the bottom of the view. NDI is for the live stream. As you see the output there, when you click on the lyrics, it has a different layout. And the stage screen is the stage screen. Good. Let's start to add a presentation from Planningcenter. Hopefully you have linked it. Let's just take the one for next Sunday, which is usually the very top of the Sunday service. So let's import that one. Takes a while. Good, here it is. And let's just put this right away into a standard playlist. And let's rename it as we usually do with the date. And then I like to move it on the very top so we easily find it on Sunday morning, that it's always the top one. So here we go. Okay, you probably have seen that the pre-service slides and post-service slides, as well as the logos, the deactivation of the license, and the announcements should load automatically. We have linked them with Planningcenter, as you use the same names in both platforms. If for any reason they're not linked, you can always add them manually in the weekly folder on the top left. And any of the existing songs should also be linked. Okay, let's see how we add the title slides. Those are not linked automatically, like the ones for Welcome and God at Work and all these things. There are two different ways how to do this. Either you go to the title slides here. At the moment we use the winter slides. And you can just, we have two versions of that now. And you can just hold it and drag it to the presentation and slide it in wherever you want it to be. Of course, now you still have the welcome up there as well. So you can get rid of that one by deleting that. It's an empty slot, so you can delete it. There's nothing linked to it. And then you switch the arrangement to welcome, as this includes the slides that you will need. Okay, the more advisable way how to add the title slides, let's go to God at Work now. Is to link it via the search function. So click the magnifying glass, make sure it's on the left symbol there, the left blue symbol. Now just enter like title or short form, and then choose the right one from the list. And let's put this to God at Work again. Let's do the same for the prayer. So the good thing with these arrangements is you have one set, and then you just see the slides that you'll really need for that part of the service. And let's do the same for the offering and for the final slide, the goodbye slide. Now, if you want to resize the view of the slides, you can also use the slider down at the bottom right here. You can make it smaller, which gives a more of an overview, or you can make it larger that you can even read some of the text in there. So adjust it to your custom or whatever you're doing. So what about if you want to make new title slides? Well, they're down here. I ask you not to overwrite them, but to duplicate them first. The way they are preset is the most easiest to handle, because we have the font in the foreground, and we can easily change the background then by just dragging a background there. I'll just show you how to do that. So to duplicate it, right click and select duplicate. So let's rename that just for trying it out now. Let's say, let's Winter 3 now. Okay, and the way this works now, if you open the media section here in the top right, you have all the videos that are on our drive. If you want to add another new video, you can also drag it into this section and then it should appear here. So if you just want to change the background of any of these title slides, you just select the video and you just drag it on the slide here. I think you have to do it for every single one. I have not found a way yet that you can do this for all at once. But this is a very easy way to just create new slides. It gives a new look and the font of the title still remains. So now when you click that one, you see that the whole appearance has changed, but all the other arrangements and stage views and everything have stayed the same. So you have not, you don't have to make this new again. Okay, if you want to really change the fonts, the titles, you see that we have them in this section here, also in the media section where the title sets are. The thing is, you cannot just drag them on the slides because they would erase the background. It's either the font or the background because both are photo files. So here you see the font. This is something you have to add on the slide. So you would have to import this from the other section. Well, let me see. If you right click on the font, you can see the location where it is stored. There you see it. And this is what we'll use to put on a new slide selection if you want to change that one. So we have, I cannot drag it here now. Okay, then we have to import it as a media object, not as a text file. Okay, then let's find the file. It looks a little complicated now, but it shouldn't be very hard once you know how to do this. Okay, let's see what this is named. F is this title, welcome. So let's look for that. Here we have it. So let's import that, use the existing one because it's already on our file, so we don't have to make a new one. And then you see that the font has changed. You could even erase the old one if you don't need that anymore. So this is how you can change the whole appearance of title slides while keeping all of the other forms. So let's go back to our presentation. We have added now all of the title slides. So let's get to the songs now. You probably have, let me close this one. You probably have seen that we use automatic title slides now. So they would display the title and the CCLI information, and it would have also all the correct setup for stage view and for the live stream. So it's good to just reuse them. I have one here in the weekly slides. You could just copy that one and add it to a song. Usually it's best to do it on the last slide as it doesn't mess up the order. It's always good to have it on the master for that one. And then you can just drag it to the front. Just make sure it shows this blue line and not the arrow, otherwise it might add it to a verse or a chorus. So make sure it's this blue line. Let's get rid of the old one. So this makes the title to appear on all the slides where we need it. As you see it also on the right side. We have it on the main presentation, and we can change the background by just dragging one of the other videos there So it's quite simple. And then you could use the title slide you created right now to copy and paste for the other songs that you will be creating. So you see that this is also 4:3 resolution. We don't use this anymore. This was the old one. So you go to the song, right click it, go to resize and select 16:9. You see that the slides have changed. Then mark the first of the lyric slides, not the title slide, just the first of the lyrics in the master. Let me explain to you why I'm using the master mode. In the arrangements, like here in Nella's arrangement, a lot of the slides repeat. You see that the chorus appears several times. If I change anything on the one chorus slide, of course, it will also change in the others as well. But in the master view, you have each of the existing slides just appearing once. So these are just the slides that have been created. So as you see that the title slide uses a different setup, where on the stage screen, the musicians can see the title and the first line of the next slide, the lyric slides, and also for live stream, we have all the information of CCLI copyright. The other slides, as you see, they don't have that. So it's just set up for the lyric slides. And on stage, you see, if we move on to the song, so this is the title, these are the lyrics. The musicians can see the current lyrics and also the beginning of the next slide. So how to set this up, I will show you now. But there is a little bug in this version where you see that all the letters are capitalized. This happens sometimes, not for all the songs, but we will change this by applying the correct theme. So now let's mark the first of the lyric slides. Not the title, just the lyrics. Hold down Shift and mark the last slide. This marks all of the lyric slides now. Now I do right click, go to themes and the 16:9, and let's select the single text, which is the standard that we use basically every Sunday. This resized the text now, and it also fixed the bug with the capitalization of the lyrics. Okay, I'll just remove some of the other settings so I can show you how to add them. Okay, in order to get this view for the stage, we have to apply the correct stage view. So in this case, the one for the musicians. So mark the first of the lyric slides, hold down Shift again, and mark the last one, right click, and now go to Add Action. And here you see the stage. Click that one, and then select the worship text 2 slides. So this will show the current slide and the beginning of the next. And this is the correct view, as you see it now. It will be a little bit more difficult for bilingual songs, but we'll get to this later then. And another thing we have to do, so this was just the stage view, but we also need to send out the live stream correctly. Again, first lyric slide, Shift, last lyric slide, right click, and now let's apply the audience look. What we need for the live stream, so that the text will appear in the live stream, we have to use not the default, but the worship NDI text active. Most of the other slides are on default, but for the lyrics, we will need the worship NDI active. You see that there's a new symbol, and now you see that the text appears in the live stream. So when we go to the worship, it will show the lyrics at the bottom. If you click on the other slides, you see the welcome slide, it does not show up, but for the lyrics, it does. So that's why the audience look has to be applied correctly. And of course, when we sing, you have to switch also the live stream to worship. Okay, let me remove the audience look again so I can show what happens if we use the wrong one. So if we go to the default, you see there's nothing sent out to the live stream. The bottom screen is empty, and also here in the worship, there's no text here. So let's reapply it. you can always remove the action if you applied the wrong one. Let's remove the audience look and reapply it. There's also a possibility to edit the audience look, but I have found out that this is also buggy, as it sometimes only changes one slide and not all of them. So that's better to remove it and then set it to NDI active again. Now, after I have done all the slides in the master view, let's change the arrangement vanilla. Good. You see the arrangement here. Now we don't have the title slide here, so we have to drag this one in at the beginning. And yeah, then we have to check if the arrangement is the same as they plan to do for Sunday. So we have the chorus, twice the bridge, twice the chorus, the bridge, and the tag probably will be the ending, so looks good. You can also see the lyrics here in Planningcenter to see if the lyrics are the same as in ProPresenter. For some songs we use a little bit altered lyrics, so it's always good to double check. Good, so that song is done. Let's go to the next one. Again, let's put this to master to see all the slides. And let's copy the title slide from the first one. Although there is another title slide in there already. But as we use the same motive, the same theme for all the songs, it's the easiest to just copy it, paste it into this song, drag it to the front, and you can erase the other one. We only need one title. Actually, the title only works for the first slide anyway. That's the way it's set up. So let's remove all of the other actions to reapply the right ones from the beginning. Sometimes this fixes problems also that have existed with previous versions. So first slide of the lyrics, last slide while holding Shift. Change the stage view to the 2 text slides. And let's change the audience look to the NDI active. So you see, if you click on that, the stage view appears fine and the title appears fine. And let's make an arrangement vanilla. There's no vanilla arrangement yet. So we always name it for after the worship leader for that Sunday, because sometimes different leaders use different arrangements. And in the future, hopefully we have a little less work if they have been set up already. So we see the chorus, interlude, verse 2, pre-chorus. Well, I think you get the idea. I will not go into every detail for this now. And I might check a little bit more carefully later on. Okay, then it seems we have a new song here. So we have to add the song, but we don't have to write all the lyrics if we find it in CCLI. You should have a CCLI access to Song Select. We find the CCLI number here in the song section. It's also visible in some other parts in Planningcenter. So copy that number because we need it to search for the song then. Okay, we go to the search and then we have to switch to Song Select. Okay, I have to relink it now. Just speeding this up for you now. Most likely you have set this up already. Okay, in case you link your account again with CCLI, make sure the report is set to manually because we report the songs via Planningcenter and not ProPresenter. Good, let's try this again now. Okay, get the CCLI number, copy it, search for it in this section, and here you see the song. If you're not sure if it's the correct song, as there are some with the same title, here in the lyrics section you can see the songwriters, and you can compare it with the information that you see here in CCLI. So the top one is the correct one, so let's click that one. Then we use line break. Most likely we use 4 lines per slide, sometimes 5, but preferably 4. And for some other areas of a song, when it makes sense, we use also less lines. But 4 will add it automatically. Let's make sure this is added to the songs for the English and German songs. Import, and you should have all the lyrics imported now. Let's take the title slide from the previous song, just paste it there, put it to the front. When you add a new song, it's automatically on master mode. Okay, let's see if the text shows up nicely. If you edit lyrics, there are different ways you can edit them freely here. You can edit actually everything in the lyrics. Or if you just want to change the reflow, you can use the reflow section to make the line changes. Let's compare it now, if it's the correct version and the correct lines. If you're not sure where to break up the lines, it's good to listen to the songs. Most of the songs are linked in Planningcenter with audio files, or just search them on YouTube and make the line breaks where they make sense. Especially this slide has a lot of lines. I will change this then. But yeah, for some songs it makes sense to have just like 3 lines and break them up, because it has a natural break, or like the first part of the verse is 3 lines, the second part is 3 lines. That's better to break it up into 2 times 3 instead of 4 and 2. And I can add line breaks by just pressing return. I can even insert a slide break. You see, then I move the text also to the next slide. And I might do something with the bridge as well then. But I'll do this later. Don't take too much time out. Okay, let's go back to the arrangement. So the title slide has everything arranged already, but now we have to make the correct arrangement. Sometimes verses are not just on one slide, but of course they use up several slides. Make sure like verse 1 only appears once, not that you have several slides that are labeled as verse 1. If you need to change that, you have to use the right click and group function. But let's make a new arrangement for vanilla now. Good, it just took over the master view. So verse 1, verse 2, chorus. There's only chorus 1. So sometimes you would really have 2 different choruses. Then you could always relabel them by clicking on the slides. Right-clicking on the slides and using the group functions to make a chorus 1 and make a chorus 2. Good. Let's add again the stage view and the audience view. First lyric slide, shift left, last lyric slide, right-click, add action stage, worship text, 2 slides, and oops, again marking all the slides, and add action, audience look, NDI. So just as a reminder again, if you use the template of the title slides, this has all the presets for the stage view and the audience view, as well as all the other slides that have been added automatically, the pre-service and title slides. You see the symbols active there. Yeah, it's always good to check it though on Sunday mornings, because sometimes things have not worked as expected, especially sometimes the stage view for the lyrics does not show up correctly So when you're there in the morning, just give it a try, see if it comes up correctly. In case it doesn't, then erase again the stage view. You can remove action, either remove all or just the stage, whatever doesn't work, and then reapply it, and then hopefully it will work. Good, so that was this song. Let's copy the title slide for the next song then. Let's add it here at the end, and let's go to the master view. Get rid of the old one. And you see again that we have to resize it. Right click on the song, go to resize 16:9, and then let's apply the correct theme, marking all the lyric slides. Yeah, again there's the bug with the capitalized lyrics. If I apply the theme 16:9 single text, then it should have fixed it. Yes. Okay, good. Let's check again the arrangement for Nella. Let's select the correct song. See the sequence, the arrangement. There is already an arrangement for Nella. The title slide is not in front now. You can put it there like this. Probably I have to rename it from group to title. So I might fix that. In case the title does not show up correctly, sometimes like there's two versions and then it says the title of the song with it too, like Jesus Will Love You Too. If you want to rename it and it doesn't work here, then you can show the song in the library. We'll find it here. Like this is in the song section, and sometimes renaming works here. And in case there's another song with the same title, then you could rename the other song first. So you'll be able to put the name that you want on the one you're using now. Just on a quick notice, because I've run over this issue before. Good, let's check the arrangement again. Okay, on this arrangement it's a little confusing because you see that the arrangement in the top line uses different names than the lyrics show up. We have MISC 1 and MISC 2. In the arrangement on top we have pre-chorus and bridge 1, bridge 2. So I would like to ask all the musicians to really check that the labeling is the same in the lyrics as on the top of the arrangement. It's really confusing for creating slides if this don't matches. Well, here you see that there's an empty line. If you see that, it's good to get rid of that as it messes up the layout on the slides, especially in the live stream. Okay, then this should be it. Well, something I've come across as well is that there's a video background just in the middle of the song. You can also get rid of that in case you see that. Remove action and then remove the video file. Then it should clear it up again. Just in case you see that, this is what you could do about that. Okay, these are all the songs that have been selected for this Sunday. But as I promised before, let me add a song just to show you how to apply everything for bilingual songs. Let me close this and let's look for a German song, because usually we have those bilingual. Let's see, which is Der Löwe und das Lamm, for example. So let's drag it into this setup. And you see how this appears. It's again not the correct size, so let's resize it to 16:9. Okay, I'll just get rid of the title slide now. Let's copy it from the other song again. And let's paste it there. Put it in a master view and add at the beginning. So that's set correctly. But what about the other slides? Again, mark the first and last slide. Let's remove the audience look and let's add it again later. Let's apply the correct theme. So it's again 16:9, but not the single text. You see there's an extra one for bilingual songs. So these are for the songs we don't sing in English, which means that the German one, which is the language we sing it in, is a little bit larger and in white. And the translation is a little bit smaller font and in yellow at the bottom. Now, if you look at the edit section, you see that there's a translation and a main section. And some of the previous songs have not been set correctly. It's important that the main section is always the language that we sing in, and translation is the one we don't sing. So if it's a German song, the main should be the German text, and the translation should be the English one. There's a reason for that. Let me show that. Because on the stage view, if I click, let me add the stage view first. So the stage view for bilingual songs is the same as for all the others. So now when I click on the lyrics, you see that we see the German text. This is what we sing. That's what we want on the stage view so that we can read it from the front. So let me rename translation to main now. If this has been formatted the wrong way, what happens is that if I go back to the stage view and I click on that slide, we will see the English text, not the German one. Because for the stage view, it always takes the main section to display. So let's name it back again to make it correct again. So translation for the English in this case and main for the German. So if I click that, it's fixed again. We have the German lyrics there. So that's why this is important. And also for the live stream, you see that something is really off. You see here at the bottom that the lyrics are overlapping. And this looks really strange if we go live like this. So let's mark the first slide, hold down shift. Let's mark the last slide and set the correct audience view now. So we add action, audience look. And now we don't use the normal worship NDI text active, but the bilingual NDI text active. You will see that this changes how things look on the live stream. So we have the German lyrics in white on the left side and a translation in yellow on the right side. So that's why this is important. So bear that in mind. If you have a song with two languages, with any translation, you have to use this setup for the audience look. Good. So this looks fine now. Okay, I don't need to set the arrangement now. This was just to show you how to edit the bilingual song. Another tip I have for you, if there's something you want to get rid of and you're not really sure what to do or what it does, if I click on delete, it might erase the whole song also from the library. So we don't want that, otherwise have to add everything again. If you have linked the song, let me see the one that I added just previously. You can always unlink it. It means this will stay in the library and you could just erase the item in the playlist when it's unlinked. But another way how to get rid of things is if you go to hide item. So you don't delete it, you hide it. If you press that one, if you click it, it does not show up on the playlist anymore. It disappears. Just at the bottom you see that there's a hidden item. But at least you make sure it doesn't get deleted. Because we had problems like that before when people deleted things and then they were gone and we needed them again. Another thing when you create slides for the lyrics, let's go to reflow view. So when you look at the line breaks, it's always good to have the first letter capitalized. This is standard for lyrics, and we use this in English as well as in German. So when you make a line break, make sure the first letter is always capitalized. Like what I've been doing now. Okay, let's put this back again. Okay, well, in case you want to change the background brightness of a video clip, for example, if it's too bright and you cannot really read the lyrics well, this is also possible. Just click on the title slide, go to Edit. You just don't mark anything, just go to Slide. And you see here the media action. This shows the video. And then you have the Inspector button. So you press Inspector, you go to this section here. And you can add an effect. Just use the first one, adjust color, and here you see that you can adjust the brightness and also the contrast. You can play around with this to get a good result. So if you close this, and this helps to see the lyrics or the title or whatever better. So if I click it, you see it darkens the video. And if you just do this at the first title slide you add, and you copy and paste it later onto the other songs, then you will have the same settings for all the title slides without doing this extra to each single one. Okay, let me see what else might be important for you. Well, probably announcements and also the sermons. Let's go first to the announcements. You see that the announcements, let's make it larger, have been linked automatically. Usually they are the announcements from the previous week there, so you might have to edit it. So always check on Planningcenter what is added there for the announcements. You can copy and paste text from there. Often there's just so much text and we don't want a lot of text, just important points on the announcement slides. So just see how you can get the important information there, like whom to contact and what time or what date something happens. And yeah, if you have more announcements, you can split it up and have 2 slides. If you don't need the second slide, you can always right click and you can disable the slide. You can still click it if you need it, but if you use the arrow keys to forward the slides or in the pre-service slides, it will skip that one. Go back to the edit. Let's mark the text and copy it. You probably have seen that we have the announcements also in the pre and post-service slides. So they don't update automatically. So if you change something in the announcements, you also have to change it in the pre-service slides. You could just paste the text there. Of course, this was the same text. Let me erase it and then add it again. So this is what we usually do. If you don't need the second slide for the announcements, because usually you see it advances the slide automatically. So it will go from the first announcement slide to the second every 7 seconds. You can disable the slide, and as you see right now, when it advances, it will skip the second announcement slide and jump right away to the weekly emails. So if you need both, then keep it enabled. And let's do the same thing for the post-service slides. And yeah, then let's go to the sermons. You probably already have imported files like PowerPoints for sermons before. So import, and yeah, usually we have them on our drive. Let's find that Crossroads drive and the slides for Sunday. Okay, there's nothing for this week. Let's just use the one from last week just to show what to do. Okay, this is importing now. Just takes a little. Let's put this in the sermon folder to keep it sorted. And I'll use the existing one since it exists already. If something exists, it's usually good to use that one instead of making several copies of the same thing. So let's look for this now. It's nice to use a name that's easy to find again. So I usually use the date for the Sunday, and it's also making it easier for us to get rid of the old things once we want to do that. Okay, so let's drag this into our presentation right here after the sermons. Okay, since this is a pre-existing presentation, it already has the correct stage view. You see here in the middle, the preacher can see the current slide and the slide that's coming up next. And there's also a countdown running for the preacher to know how long he's preaching already. So you see as we continue to click on the slides, the view also on the stage screen changes, and of course the one for the people as well. You can also see what is on the slides concerning the audience and the stage view. You just go there, click on edit, and then you see what is applied to that slide. And the audience look is set to default, which is what we want for this part. So I'll mark all the slides, which is the same as for the songs, first and last slide holding shift. And I just erased the stage just to reapply now. So the 2-slide sermon, this is different than the text 2 slides, because the slide sermon really shows the complete picture. The text slide is just only showing the lyrics. So that's a different setting for the sermon. You see that for some other slides, like the titles, we use different settings. Like here we just see the current slide with all the timers and countdowns when they're running. You see this is the 1-slide setting. So the sermon is on 2 slides, the titles are 1 slide. The worship title is just for the title slides of the songs. Okay, before the service we also have these slides ready to show if we need them. See, there's the countdown, and also for the pre-service slides you see that the stage view has a different setting again, where we see the main countdown very prominently. We also see what slide is up, and also at the bottom we see how long we still have till 10:30. This helps everybody to get ready on time, but still gives us a little freedom to have an extra countdown when we're really ready. And on the bottom right, you see the time that appears on most of the stage view slides. So something that might also be helpful for the sermons, especially if there are no PowerPoints that you have received before, you can also add a sermon setting slide. You also find this in the weekly slides folder. What this does is that if you click this before the sermon presentation, it loads all the actions that we need. Okay, I'll just remove the stage and the audience looks, so they are not applied just for this example now. So you see what this sermon setting slide does. So when I'm on any part of the presentation and I click to the sermon, you see now there's not the same look that we had before. Now if I click on the settings slide before I start the sermon, you find this also here in the weekly slides. You press it before you go to the sermon and it shows up the way we want it to be. So you don't have to apply all the settings to the presentation itself. You just click on that before and then on the sermon itself. In church, it's also possible to post Bible verses in English and German. You see that you have the different books and chapters and everything here. It just takes a license for each computer, but we can deactivate and activate them the way we want it. So this is how you add verses. You can type them, you can select them in the menu. Let me see. So if I just write the Bible passage I want to have, it shows up the verses and you can click on them. Okay, I still have to apply the correct background. So that's it. We might also have different layouts in the future when we have larger text or different layouts, but for now this is what I got started with. As you saw me before, we're moving the background now this is something I want to show you as well. So if you want to remove the background, not permanently, but just for the presentation, you can click on this symbol. And if you want to have it back again, you click on the slide again. Also for the lyrics or any other part where it has backgrounds and text, you can make the background disappear. But you also can remove the text. If you click the other symbol, then the background stays and the text disappears. So this only works for slides that are created in ProPresenter. Like the other slides here, the PowerPoint, the text level and the background, as they are not separate backgrounds and text layers. You can also clear to logo if you click here for different parts of the service when you might need it. And if you just want to go to a black screen, that's possible as well very quickly. So let's just click on that slide. And if you want to have the black screen, you click this X and it will erase everything for the presentation. This also works for the sermons and any other slides. It just basically is really a black screen. I'm pretty sure you've worked with the countdowns already. Some things are automatically, some things you can set by yourself. You can also send messages to the stage monitor if you go to that section. This works, for example, during the sermon when you want to send a message to a preacher. So you can type in here, just make sure you're really in the stage monitor setting. So for example, you tell them to look at the time and then you press show and it will appear on the stage monitor starting to blink and then staying there. And the people cannot see this, just the person standing in front, and you can hide it again by pressing hide. And if you want to pop it up again, just press show again, like if you didn't see it. And we have these stage messages active on all the stage views, just to look different on different parts. Like here, they don't cover the lyrics. And you can use these messages to tell the music team or the preacher to watch the time, or to send a message to the person leading the service. For example, to not forget to let the kids out, or that there's an announcement or something coming up next. So just be creative. Actually, it's also possible to send messages to the big screen. I have not really set this up yet, but this is how it would look like. It basically works the same way as the stage messages. You show a countdown or you type a message and you show it and it will appear on the big screen. But as I mentioned before, we still have to edit this so it will be useful for Sunday morning. It's also possible to have a playlist in there in case you need some music to play right out from ProPresenter. At the moment, we mostly use Spotify to do that, but it's also possible to have some playback music there. You see that the slides are running through automatically in the pre- and post-service section. If you want to stop a slide, that's possible as well. For example, there's an announcement about the small groups. You see this advance button, you click that, and the slide will stay. It will not advance anymore. Otherwise, you will just jump to the next slide after 7 seconds. If you want to start the timer again, you can click on any of these slides and it will run again. Good, and one final thing we do when we have finished the presentation is to back it up here in Files and Export and then save as a playlist. Although I've just found out recently with Sebastian that we still have to look for a way how we can import it again. But let's continue to do the export and hopefully we find a way how to import it again, just as a backup if the sync doesn't work. And hopefully in the future we know how to import it back again. I just noticed it saves different items, but not the playlist as we use it right now. And then always make sure you don't turn off your computer before everything has synced. So always wait till the sync is complete before you turn off your computer. And also before you start the program, make sure everything is synced, not that it's still syncing something, especially on Sunday morning. If you still have any other questions, something we missed, or any suggestions how we can make a better tutorial, just let me know and I'll try to help you. if I know it. Okay, thank you all for your service, and let's have fun with this and be of service to the church and God.